welcome to the May 4th meeting of the Glenville Town Board. We were waiting for our attorney to stop being interviewed and Councilman Pitlevani to stop working the room. Just kidding. Just kidding. Please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. As many of you are frequent visitors to the town board meetings, you know I like to start an invocation that somehow attaches to the meeting. So tonight I found something I thought apropos in light of our police chief retiring and our new chief coming in, and it's called the Policeman's Prayer. Please join me in prayer. Lord, I ask for courage. Courage to face and conquer my own fears. Courage to take me where others will not go. I ask for strength. Strength of body to protect others. Strength of spirit to lead others. I ask for dedication. Dedication to my job and to do it well. Dedication to my community to keep it safe. Give me, Lord, concern for all those who trust me and compassion for those who need me. And please, always, Lord, always through it all, be at my side. Amen. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please call the roll.
Councilman Martin?
Here.
Councilman Pitlevani?
Here.
Councilman Blunt?
Here.
Councilwoman Rosbowski? Here. Supervisor Hensel?
Here, as many of you know, we have a fairly short agenda, but an important one tonight. So we'll get right to business, and we'll start with item number 4, which is the town council report. So I'll start on my left with Councilman Blunt.
Nothing this evening.
Councilwoman Rosbowski.
I have no report to Supervisor.
Councilman Martin.
No report tonight.
Councilman Pitlevani.
It's unanimous.
All right. So we'll go right into the next item on the agenda, which is a resolution. It is a resolution to provisionally appoint Steve Janik to the position of police chief effective June 7th, 2016. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Just for a point of discussion, let me start with reading the resolution, or at least the highlights, so we all know what we're voting on. And the resolution reads in part, whereas Town Police Chief Mike Rinaldi has advised the town that he will be retiring his position as police chief for the town, and whereas a civil service competitive promotional exam was given and the results not yet posted, the town will need a person capable of performing such duties of police chief pending the receipt and the results of the civil service examination. Whereas Steve Janik is a 19-year veteran of the Glenville Police Department with prior service to the Saratoga County Sheriff's Department, who has worked his way up the ranks in the Glenville Police Department from patrolman to sergeant and then to lieutenant. And whereas Steve Janik has performed admirably and will be in each of the titles he had held with the police department, earning the respect of fellow officers, members of the town board, and the Glenville community. Whereas both the outgoing chief and the town supervisor recommend to the town board and that the town board appoint provisionally Steve Janik as police chief effective June 4th, 2016. Here be it resolved by this resolution that Steve Janik be named to that role with the terms and conditions of employment stated in the town's personnel manual. Any questions, comments, or discussion?
Welcome.
Thank you, Jim. Nice to meet you. Any other? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Pitlevani?
Yes.
Councilman Blunt?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosbowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Hensel?
Yes, resolution passes. Congratulations, Steve. This is the fun part, Steve. So, as we just got done talking about, Steve has been a longtime veteran of the department, but before we move on to the swearing in, it's kind of odd that you guys have your back. Why don't you come around this way? And Chief, do it, please. Before we start with the swearing in of Lieutenant Janik as police chief, I think we need to take a moment and recognize the great work and the dedication of our current chief, Mike Rinaldi. Mike and I have been working together, I think we're in our 9th year. Yeah. You had one easy year before I got here. I will say that over that time, I've watched Mike deal with some difficult decisions and situations. He provided tremendous leadership to the department. He was always professional. I think he has brought this department to where it is today, one of the most respected and revered departments in the entire area. His residents in this town have always supported the police department, by and large, to Mike's efforts. He definitely will leave hard shoes to fill. Very few people have the experience, the knowledge, the education, and all that Mike brings to the position. We will miss him. We thank him for his service, and please give Mike Rinaldi a round of applause. Now we get to the point where Lieutenant Janik asked me to bring some humor to the situation, so it's going to be a roast. Lieutenant Janik and I have been together equally as long, 9 years. And the fact that you didn't make a comment he made tells you why you're going to be chief.
Fire me.
But Steve and I have been working together for 9 years, and in many ways, really, we worked just as close as I have with the chief in a lot of respects. And I've come to respect Lieutenant Janik, understand his knowledge, his professionalism. I was asked once why Lieutenant Janik, and I talked about the leadership skills he brings to the department, and the fact that we've come to, I think, mutually respect each other, have mutual understanding of each other. And I think he is, without question, the man for the job. And so I'm looking forward, Lieutenant Janik, to work with you, hopefully maybe another 9 years. Let's see how it goes. But, and before we get to the swearing in, perhaps Chief Rinaldi would like to say a few words.
Feels like yesterday that I stood here. No, just, this is tough, so thank you.
There's a common theme up here, as you can see. There's something different about each of us, and it's not that I'm the shortest guy up here. We've all worked together for 9 years, right? 3 of us have gray hair. 1 of us does not. It's clear who's giving who the stress in this position. Steve, you look great.
For long.
You do see my parents out here all the time.
Go ahead, calling her up.
Erica, would you like to come on?
Okay, now I just want to let you know, I'm going to improvise here. I'm reading a card that says, "I, Justin T. Bolay." So I'm going to make sure that I don't... You were the last one, so we just use the same card. That's budget efficiency. Okay, so raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Stephen Janik,
I, Stephen Janik,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
and the laws of the State of New York,
and the laws of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of police chief
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the police chief
within the police department
within the police
of
department
the town of Glenville,
of the town of Glenville,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Step that has to be taken here.
I have to apologize right off the rip here. As you can see, I've got some papers in my hand here because I knew this day was coming, and I had a lot of things that I wanted to say. And I didn't want to miss anybody or miss anything. So I did have to write it down, and I will be reading a little bit. Not verbatim, but I do have it in front of me, so I usually as you know, those of you that have known me for a while, I'm the PIO, and I can talk in front of the camera about incidents that go on in the town or anything that happens without an issue, but when it comes to talking about me or the people that I care about, I may have a little bit of trouble. There's a lot of emotions. But I want to start by thanking Chris. I want to start by thanking the town board for having the confidence in the chief when he recommended me for the position. I really appreciate your confidence. I really appreciate your support. And to be very honest with all of you, you've always supported me. I've always felt supported in this town. Every one of us had a certain relationship, and I know that I can work with any one of you. And I know that you've been dealing with Chief Rinaldi for the past 10 years, and you know that he's always had an open door policy and would talk about any issue, and I promise that I'll be the same way. And I'm going to dedicate myself to this position 110%. I'd like to acknowledge a couple of, I'm absolutely overwhelmed right now by the response and by the attendance here tonight. I mean, there's a lot of special people in the room. And there's a lot of people in the room that I didn't expect to be here, but it makes me feel absolutely honored to have you here. One person I'd like to acknowledge is Sheriff Zerlo. Mike, you and I worked together when I started in the Sheriff's Department back in 1990, and I remember you as a sergeant. I remember you taking me out the road and showing me the ropes, and I still remember being in car 4130 and showing me the radar and giving me the tour of Zone 5 at the time, which was Providence and Galloway and so on. Like I said, there's a lot of people that I want to thank. Pete Rosoni, the chief of Scotia Police, is here tonight. Thanks for showing up, Pete, with a couple of your officers. One thing I did a couple weeks ago was we worked together down at the rally for Ted Cruz. And one thing I told Pete after the rally is that I have never seen a more professional bunch of guys that he has working for his department right now, and I really attribute that to Pete and his leadership. Dan, I didn't know you were going to. I appreciate you being here. Dan McManus, the Chief of Niskayuna. Thanks for coming, Dan. I appreciate it very much. Jeff Brown, Lieutenant, Saratoga County Sheriff's Department. Jeff and I are friends, and I'm honored to have you guys here. Rod Gustowski, member of the Saratoga County Sheriff's Department. Rod and I have been friends for 26 years, Rod. I can't believe it's been that long, but it means a lot to me. You can tell. I mean, my heart is filled with joy right now that you guys are here tonight. I really, if I forget to point out anybody, I am absolutely sorry, but like I said, it would have been much easier if just this side of the room was full. I mentally wrote you down, so if I miss anybody, I apologize, I really do, but as I said, I'm a little on the overwhelmed side right now. you know, almost my entire family is here. What can I say? You know, you guys have seen me grow up, and you remember me as a little kid and all the times that I was out there, and you knew what I wanted to do, and I've grown doing this, and you've always talked to me about it, and we've always had conversations about it, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you being here tonight. Should I put my glasses? It really, family is what it's all about, and it really makes me feel great to have my entire family here. My sister Joanna here in the front row. You know, I'm so happy you're here. I would just like to take this opportunity to thank the person who I believe prepared me over the last 10 years to now take on the responsibility of Chief of Police for the Glenville Police Department, Chief Mike Rinaldi. Chief Rinaldi became our chief in June of 2006 in the midst of a serious turnover in staff from the old regime to the new. I came here with limited information about the administrative staff, knowledge of the geographic and demographic makeup of the town, and the general policies and procedures that guide us in our day-to-day operations. Chief Rinaldi did not come here with intentions or expectations to make immediate changes to the department, even though we desperately needed them at the time. But instead, he relied on the first-line supervisors and created a decision-making team that we lived by for the last decade. As newly promoted sergeant in 2006, I was happy to know that I had an expert instructor as our leader, not to mention an attorney and an accomplished author, as Bill Marchuka will tell you a lot. I made every effort to absorb as much information that Chief Rinaldi afforded us and pay close attention to his management style. One thing I know that the chief would always say is, if you did something wrong, don't lie about it. It's much easier to address the truth than dig through the lies. Chief Rinaldi was and still is a mentor to me. We have seen the best this department has to offer at times. We've also seen the worst. When a member of the department made a bad decision or failed to correct inappropriate behavior, the problem was addressed swiftly and fairly. I intend to continue to address those issues that arise if they do, but I also intend on addressing when officers go above and beyond. If it wasn't for Chief Rinaldi's instruction, encouragement, and standards, I would not be prepared for this position. Thank you, Chief, for the 10 years of dedicated service to our department and community. I'm proud to call you my chief and my friend. To the men and women of the Glenville Police Department, we must remember to focus on our mission statement. And that is, the town of Glenville Police Department is dedicated to providing public safety by serving the community with professionalism and integrity, in a manner to instill a sense of pride and respect both within our department and our community, while recognizing the importance of safety to our members. With this mission in our minds every day when we serve this community, we will succeed. We will remain one of the most respected and appreciated police departments in the area. And I know you guys remember this all the time, but I say that this is one community that does not need the Glenville Police Department. They don't need us. They want us. They want us here because of what we do and who we are. You must remember that you do not work for the chief or the town board. You work for the people, the citizens of Glenville, the business owners of Glenville, and the general public who travel within our town limits on a daily basis. I commit myself to the members of this department. I will do all I can to see that you are properly trained, equipped, supervised, and supported. I believe in each and every one of you. I believe that you became police officers due to a sense of service, not personal ego. I truly believe you want to make a difference in people's lives and you want our community to remain safe. I know that constant national criticism can be very demoralizing, but I also know that our work has true meaning. If there is anyone who lives a purpose-driven life, it is a police officer. The greatest antidote to cynicism is a sense of accomplishment, accompanied by community support and acceptance. I also know that your opinion matters. I will continue to foster an environment where your opinion and suggestions are always considered. What I expect from you is to continue to rely on your own personal values. Values like integrity, courage, respect, commitment, and compassion to guide you on your professional journey in your law enforcement career. I expect you to refrain from misconduct, and I also expect you to prevent it. We are often judged by our worst examples, so we should do everything in our power to keep those examples as positive as we possibly can. I vow to be a leader who does not stand in the way of progress, but a leader who stands beside progress, encouraging members to grow and prepare to be the next leader of this department, as Chief Rinaldi did for me. To the community, I promise an open, accessible agency, an agency that responds to your concerns and needs, a department that continues to be there for you when you go on vacation and watch your home and unlock your car when you leave your keys inside of it. A department that addresses quality of life issues no matter how big or how small. An agency that remains active in the school districts and in community events. An agency you can be proud of. I want to take this opportunity to thank important people in my life. Those who have been there since the beginning of my career, which began in 1990 when I became deputy sheriff of the Saratoga County Sheriff's Department. I always knew since a little boy that I wanted to become a police officer. I knew when I wore my grandfather Montesanto's hat and played with his handcuffs, which I still carry on my belt today, that was my calling. I used to ride around on my bike with 2 red Nescafe coffee tops taped to the handlebars, hoping they'd actually flash someday. And the fake tickets I wrote would eventually be real. What I can say, though, is that I absolutely was never discouraged by my mom or dad to think of another career. I was always encouraged to follow my dreams and pursue it. Mom and Dad, you've been there for me since day one. You supported me when I decided to leave the Sheriff's Department in '97 to transfer here. You supported every decision to pursue promotions, further my education in the field of law enforcement, and further my education in the field of law enforcement. For that, I say thank you. And for that, I tell you I love you very much. I also want to take this opportunity to wish my dad a happy 75th. There's several other people I'd like to mention who've been there for me throughout my 26 years of law enforcement. My best friend, Bill Marchuka. Together, graduated from Saratoga Central Catholic High School together, entered the police academy in 1990 together, and transferred to the Glenville PD within 1 year of each other. Bill is our senior detective and an absolute informal leader with our department. Bill, thank you for all the encouragement you've given me over the years. I always know I can count on you. I definitely hope one day to be able to add to the list I just mentioned and say we completed our careers together. I want to thank you, Sherry. I want to thank you for being here this evening. You and your mom. It means a lot. I want to thank you for the years of understanding when I had to make difficult decisions about accepting promotions that obviously affected family life and the care of our daughter, Hannah. Thank you for your continued support, and thank you for making my life easier knowing that our daughter was had a great mom. Thanks to my daughter, Hannah. It means so much to me here, Hannah. I hope you know that every decision I make and every opportunity that is presented to me is considered after how I believe it may affect you. You are always the first thing I think of when I wake up in the morning, and the last thing I think of before I go to bed. I would finally like to thank the person who's been my saving grace in my life. The person who believes in me, supports me, cares for me, encourages me, listens to me, and comforts me when it seems there is no solution to my problems. That's my girlfriend, Erica. I have no words to express how much your love and support has done for me over the last 4 years. Everyone around me can see that you're the reason why I'm so much happier and satisfied with where my life and career is today. Your kind words, positive attitude, along with the fact that you can directly relate to these issues due to experiencing them for yourself from time to time is inspiring to me. You're an outstanding leader in your own career, and I know I can rely on you for advice as I begin this final chapter of my career. I love you very much.
Thank you, Steve. You want me to come down there? or-
Yeah, can you step up here, please?
We learned a lot about Steve's childhood today. You know what kept going through my mind? If you guys remember the Brady Bunch, when Peter Brady took that safety monitor job too seriously. I think so. Steve, I'll just go through the pictures, sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. We're gonna miss you. I know some of you really want to get a supervisor's report, especially the police department. You can stay for that if you want. We'll take a 5-minute break and give anyone an opportunity to leave if they want. Thank you all for coming. The next item on the agenda is item number 6, which is the MS4 report given by Commissioner of Public Works Tom Capola. Tom, you know how to clear a window.
Thank you for staying, everyone. All right, this is the annual MS4 report. This is a state mandate that the town is required to do. It's unfunded, as I say every year. The town is required to do a municipal stormwater if you want to do maintenance throughout the town. And that entails sweeping the roads twice a year. We do about an 80-mile run twice a year, which that's not my house. That can talk to you about 360 miles a year. We've got about 1,550 basins. We do maintenance on those. We try to get to at least 20% a year. We just do not have the equipment or time to get to them. As we get better, the board is doing much more equipment to work with. We also maintain about 11 stormwater retention areas in the town, which require basin maintenance installed. So when we go in there, we trim the cut, we do a lot of things in there. We also have to put public awareness to our residents. If you go down the road, you see an arrow pointing towards the basin. Next to that, you'll see a fish that says leads to waterway. It's to bring public awareness to people that they don't dump hazardous materials down into our catch basins. That does lead to the river, essentially all of us. And we also have educational pieces in the town hall for anybody who'd like to get an MS4. There are handouts there. MS4 report is available on the website. We've taken the ability to take some of our employees. We took about 16 employees last year. We had them go to classes for stabilization and things that have to do with this. Keep your eyes open on violations that we may see. Throughout the course of this, we also go around and check new construction areas, which there are certain criteria that have to be met by contractors. And there's silk fences, there's certain criteria that needs to be met. We go around and travel to these sites. We do see incidents that happen. We do report these to DEC. We do in-house filing. Last year, we wrote several of these offenses to different people. And through correction action, they have corrected the issues. We still continue on. This past year, we did receive, thanks to Mike Burns, a $7,700 check this past week for reimbursement to one of our interns for this program, a grant that he wrote, and it was to pay back time and mileage for one of the interns that we have. We also work a lot in the natural areas of the town, to keep the natural areas natural. We did a lot of work this past winter in Florida, was to do a lot of work. And this is all part of this program, which I have to say, this is mandated, and we get no funding for this really, and it's just something else the town has to do. And I think highway workers and Mike Burns and the rest of the people that are involved, Dana, they do an excellent job at doing this. That is my report for you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any questions or comments to the Commissioner? Nice job. Seeing none, Commissioner, thank you.
Thank you, Board.
Move on to The next item, which is privilege of the floor, we do have one person signed up. If anyone wishes to address the board, raise your hand after we call on this one person, and we'll invite you to the podium to state your name and address for the record. The first person we have, or the only person signed up is Bob Mitchell, 4 Sandalwood Lane, to speak about a foreclosed house.
Hi, my name is Bob Mitchell. I live at 41 Sandalwood Lane, just down the road. A standing ovation has left, so. I'm here because of a deserted house that's in our neighborhood. And we're concerned, from the front it doesn't look so bad, it just looks deserted. But from the back, it looks terrible, and I brought pictures also. And the reason I'm involved is the house is directly behind me. So the pictures I'm going to show you is what I get to see on when I sit on my deck. The other person who was involved in doing this with me, Eleanor Marks, is right next. She's at 46 Harmon. The house is at 44 Harmon. This house was supposed to have been auctioned off 2 years ago when the county had the main auction, and apparently it was taken off the list the day of the auction. Now it's been deserted, or been empty rather, since August of 2014. And I did call the building inspector's office last fall, and I think it's Terry who works there. She did go out and look at the house. The problem is the house is still in the owner's name, even though it's foreclosed. What I did this summer, I know that the banks have to make sure that the lawn is mowed. So when the person was mowing, I ran around to the backyard and asked him who's paying his bill, and it was TD Bank. Now I did go to this TD Bank in Niskuna to find out any information I could about this, and I didn't think I would find out too much because they would probably talk to me about it. But anyway, they said they had nothing to do with that I'd have to call the main. So I did call the 800 number that I had, that they gave me. 45 minutes, and 4 people later, they took my name and the address of the house, and that was the last time I've ever seen them talk to them. I know from talking to the building inspector a couple weeks ago that, this is not the only house in Glenville that is foreclosed. And I understand what banks do with these houses. They just sit on it, basically. The strange part about this was that when we went around, I have a letter I want to give to you, and it's signed by the neighbors around this house that are concerned. We're concerned because of what's happening to the siding on the back of the house, the fact that the back porch of the garage there's nothing there basically. There's plastic, it used to be plastic where the screens are supposed to be, and the plastic is rotting away. But the one neighbor that across the street from this house told me when he signed this letter that at the time he went to the auction because he wanted to buy the house and flip the house. And he's still interested today, but of course the banks don't do anything. So I'm not expecting too much to be done by the banks, but I think what I told them when I finally got to someone to speak to, that if they're not going to do anything, they could at least stabilize this house so it doesn't get any worse. So I want to give you this because it's a letter of our concern. We realize there's not much you can do, but I think if they heard from the town of Glenville rather than just a neighbor, maybe they might stand up and think about it. And I also have the pictures that I'd like to give you.
If you give it to the clerk,
Okay.
she'll distribute it to the board. Is there only one copy?
Yeah, there's one copy of it's a two-page thing. And the pictures I took, one of them I took in the beginning of April, and then we had that big windstorm for about 5 minutes in April. And the last one I took past Saturday. And you can see how just in a month, with the weather we had, that so much more of it has come off. And I also I have a card here with the phone number of TD Bank if you're interested. Thank you for listening to me.
No, thank you, Mr. Mitchell. You bring up a very important point to many communities, and it is a big problem,
Yeah.
not just in the town of Glenville, there's a variety of homes, but in every community in the state and probably the nation.
Yeah.
We've worked with the Assembly and the Senate to try to get a bill that would require them to, require banks to file on a vacant registry, so we know who to contact. A lot of banks won't file the deed, and you can't get them because
Yeah.
they don't file the deed. That's a problem. We created a vacant registry here in the town. There are some exemptions for residential. That was at the request of certain residents that didn't want to see that happen, but I was concerned that this would happen. So maybe we have to look at that and toughen it up a little bit. But we're familiar with this because I know I've talked to Paul and Terry both about it, our building inspectors. And we'll stay on it, we'll do everything we can, but we'll try to track down TD Bank as well.
Yeah, well, anything that you can do would be greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank
I'll
you.
get it into Linda, she'll make sure the board gets it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to be heard tonight, privilege of the floor? Going once, going twice, seeing none. Floor is now closed. Move the supervisor's comments to the board.
Well, Janet did a heck of a job.
Did a great job. I won't go as long as him, just on a few things, I wanted to update the board because it often comes up in privilege of the floor in other meetings about Old Dominion and their light issue with some of the neighbors, and particularly one of the neighbors that comes here quite often. He's not here tonight, but I did want to report that I did reach out after his last address to the board about Old Dominion not fixing the problem yet. I did confirm with them that they said it would be at least until May before they even had a plan based on the lighting engineer's availability. It's not a local person, it's someone they use out of Tennessee or something. So they did all agree at the meeting that it would be not until May before something was seen. So just as an update, it's not that anyone forgot it or didn't do it, it just hasn't been May yet. It is now, but we'll give them a couple days. Just some quick announcements. I've announced these before, but just want to make sure you all have them on your schedule. We have a ribbon cutting coming up on May 7th on the Indian Meadows parking lot and roadway. The ribbon cutting will be at 9:50 because it will be followed immediately by the opening day ceremonies for Green Hills Boston Lake Little League at 10 o'clock. And we've just secured a contract on striping for the parking lots. So what we've seen is that people don't park organized if there's no stripes. So now we're striping the parking lot. That'll be done tomorrow. That'll be ready for Saturday. So everything will be ready to go. I'm very excited about that. The next week, on May 14th at 1:45, the girls softball league is going to the Burn Hills Boston Lake Softball League. It's going to have their opening day at the new fields that we've worked with them on getting those fields open, so we've been invited to that as well. Tomorrow is National Day of Prayer. We're having a ceremony out front at noon. If anyone would like to join us, you're more than welcome. Hopefully the weather holds, but we'll see. I did have a conversation with the Department of State on the Municipal Restructuring Fund and our idea to do a transportation hub. They are very much helping us. We are meeting tomorrow with the fire departments, I believe the village, I hope, and the school districts to start putting the charter together. We have to write the charter as to how this is going to go, what's going to happen here. And so we're starting that, hopefully have that ready within a week or two, first draft to go to DOS, and they will help us with it. So that's progressing. We have some very good interest by a lot of people. We have some tepid interest by others. But we'll try to bring along as many people as we can. We had the hotel groundbreaking down at the Lighthouse on Freeman's Bridge Road. I know Councilman Pitlavani was there. We did that last week. I was able to attend the volunteer recognition lunch at our senior center, and on behalf of the board, I thanked all the volunteers for their service to that center and to the town. And on the 21st, Commissioner Capola, myself, and Attorney Cuevas visited with the Comptroller Jason Cuthbert. I always have a problem with your name.
That's okay.
Jason, Comptroller Jason. You can just blame the ones. Met with the Schenectady City on the sewer contract and talking about going forward with a contract on that. We had a very good meeting on that. I'll just say it's premature to say much on it, but it was a very positive meeting. Lastly, we did cut the ribbon on the Anderson Dog Park, but the grand opening will be June 11th, Saturday. It's from 9 to noon. We're planning all sorts of events and activities. If you can come to it, it's going to be a rededication. Small point of distinction, people have to understand, it's not the Anderson Dog Park, it's the Anderson Park. The dog park is within the Anderson Park. So just so we're clear, and we have to maybe correct some of our stuff. And lastly, we did welcome Arnie Briscoe as our assistant building inspector this week, Monday. He started, and he seems to be settling in well and doing well. And as we progress through how the model is going to look, I know Councilman Martin's been involved in some of those discussions. We'll be engaging, as you all know, MJ Engineer to help us with some of the bigger projects, particularly the hotel, as we start off. And then we'll look at some options going into the summer and fall, how we want to move forward in that area. And that's all I have. So any questions or comments? Okay, thank you. So back to the agenda, which is item number 9, a resolution authorizing the appointment of seasonal employees. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
Mr. Supervisor, this is a resolution to provide for summertime maintenance and security needs within the Parks, Highway, Water, and Sewer departments for the 2016 summer season. The seasonal employees would be appointed to the following positions at the budgeted rate of $9 per hour with no benefits for a period not to exceed May 9, 2016 through September 9, 2016. There will be 3 park laborers, 1 park security worker, 1 water and sewer laborer, or 3 water and sewer laborers, and 4 highway laborers to be appointed by the Commissioner of Public Works upon authorization of this resolution.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, please report your vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Petrovani?
Yes.
Councilman Blunt?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzachowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Before I move to the next resolution, I have to have Councilman Blunt promise me he's not going to read it.
I'm not going to read it.
All right.
I got crib notes.
In that case, next resolution, resolution 10, authorizing the acquisition of certain equipment. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
Mr. Supervisor, it's a pretty lengthy bond resolution, but Mr. Comptroller Jason Cuthbert, in March, the board authorized purchase of the Gradle using cash on the assumption that we would trade in the loader in the deal. However, Highway decided to trade in the loader as part of their new loader purchase, also approved in March. Long story short, instead of borrowing $190,000 for the new loader, as which was approved in March, we instead will be borrowing $125,000 for the Gradle and $55,000 for the new loader, so all is a wash. How's that?
Yeah, perfect. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, please report your vote.
Councilman Martin?
No. Or yes, I mean, yes, yes. So I meant to say that I'm in shock over the crib notes. Yes. Jeez.
Councilman Petrovani?
Yes.
Councilman Blunt?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzachowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. I do think that was a Freudian slip. Councilman. I do think it was. Next resolution, resolution 11, passing or issuing a negative declaration. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Second.
A second?
Moved in second. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor, this is a negative declaration for the Glenville Town Center Street lighting and sidewalk lighting project. That's basically it. We're coming to a negative declaration on the potential environmental impact.
Any other questions or comments? Just to point out on that, the bids for the lighting project, and this is for the lights that will be in our town center, new street lights. The bids for those are currently out and will be open on Friday, May 13th. Hopefully it's not a bad sign.
What's the vote for town?
Okay, good. We will then be able to adopt the resolution accepting the bids on May 18th. So that's the current schedule we're on. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Kittleani?
Yes.
Councilman Blunt?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzachowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Next item on the agenda is new business, and I'll start on my left with Councilman Blunt.
Mr. Supervisor, just one quick note, the whole property on Freeman's Ridge Road that everybody drives by and they see it encapsulated in plastic. I've received some phone calls and some business owners asking that they're essentially tearing the building down from inside and it's asbestos remediation. So if there are some people curious why it's taken so long, that's the reason why.
That has turned into such a project.
Thank God that we're not the town's going to pay.
Councilwoman Wozzachowski.
I agree with
Councilman Martin.
Just in deference to the observation about the abandoned building,
Yeah.
I'd like to get on a workshop. Remember the idea I've shared with you in the past? I'd like to get that on a
Talking
workshop.
about the home?
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'd like to get that on a very near workshop to discuss with the wider board.
Okay, so we'll put that on for the 11th.
Okay.
Next week. Councilman Kittleani.
Just a reminder, Wednesday, May 25th is the Scotia Glenville Memorial Day Parade on Mohawk Avenue in Scotia. Kicks off about 6:15. And on a side note, next Wednesday, I will not be here, but I will be thinking about all of you as I am having my honeymoon in Niagara Falls, Canada.
That's great. Congratulations. Thank
you. You don't have to be representing with John, it's okay.
Oh, thanks.
Congratulations, John.
Yes, congratulations.
Yes, congratulations. Any other issues for the board? Seeing none, I'll entertain a resolution for adjournment.
I'll move it.
Second.
I'll second it.
Moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're adjourned.